Hey, team, no excuses. All right. Thank you for your patience in the delay of this live. Let me double check to make sure that we are okay. We are there. Perfect. Okay. So, Life of a Dance Mom is competition week, which means that there was like a mandatory walkthrough after our practice today. So, I was like, oh, well, I guess Jalen's staying longer to run through all these routines. And so that's why this is delayed a little bit. Let's see. Let me just share this really quickly. All right. So if you are on live with us, do me a favor and put hashtag live. If you're on the replay, um, comment hashtag replay and let us know. So um, I have April here with me, and I call her my business bestie because I did not know her before Color Street. And now we're super close. We live within 30 minutes of each other. So she's really like my accountability person, and I'm the same for hers. And so we heard about, hey, Rachel, hey, Melissa. We heard about this event that Eva did on Connect the Dots. We cannot take credit for this idea because Eva just is phenomenal. So you need to go watch her Connect the Dots. If you just search passport, it'll probably pull it right up in the official Color Street group. But April and I both were like looking for that like tide to turn in our business. We're like, we need something different. Like we love, everything that's happening right now, but we were so dependent upon like the screen for everything. And her and I are both old school and just love in-person interaction. And we were talking one day and she was like, we need to try that passport event. And I was like, oh my gosh, girl, I just listened to that Connect the Dots. Like I was thinking the same thing, but I was so nervous about getting it started. And she's like, we need to do it together. So you're going to have to go and listen to Eva's training because we're not going to recreate the wheel because we could never be as awesome as Eva was with it. Like her energy and excitement is crazy. But so we said, okay, we're going to do it. And the worst thing that is going to happen is you and I are having dinner and drinks together if nobody shows up. So that's just how we rolled with it. We went into it with really high hopes, but low expectations because it was our first time doing it. But something that April's always really good at is anytime she tries something new, I try something new. She always reminds me like, you have to stay consistent with it, Danielle. Like if you're going to try this new party style, you need to stick with it for 3 months, 6 months. You can't do it one time and give up on it. So she said with these events, she was like, we're going to do it, but we're doing it for a minimum of 3 months. We're committing to the next 3 months. And I was like, okay, mother. So that's just kind of how it got started. And we're going to kind of share with you how we took Eva's idea and spun it to make it our own, because that's how a lot of things happen in this business is you hear a training and you're like, that idea is amazing. And then you put your spin on it to make it you. And in theory, that's what we did with, this passport event is we took the passport idea and just kind of rolled it into our own thing. So go ahead, April, so I don't spend the whole time talking.
Yeah. So when I watched this training, I was like, this is such a genius idea because you're getting face to face with people. And like I told Danielle, if no one shows up, then we'll just sit there and have dinner. But let's give it a go. And she kept talking about this passport and how she would have different locations for these events and invite people. And she does everything digitally. And I was like, this is really cool, but I'm kind of a nerd. I like to have like something in my hands, piece of paper. My boyfriend and I do the Dayton Ale Trail, which is like a brewery passport thing. And you get like a little book and you take it into each place and you get a stamp on it. And when you complete the passport, you get like a glass or something at the end of it. And I was like, if I'm going to do this, this is how I want to do it. Like I want people to get stamps. I want them to have their little passports and I want all that jazz. So me being the nerd that I am, I went on to Canva and just created these little passports. You can see this one's already stamped because this is like, if I give it to someone, obviously they're at the event, so they're going to get a passport. But it just gives them all the information. It's got like a little place for them to put their name and information. And on the inside, I can post a picture of this. It just says, let's travel the world of Color Street. Grab your passport and a friend for a fun-filled adventure. Earn points and prizes at each event, and earn an exclusive prize for completing your passport. And then I have like other information on the back here. But we created these little bags. We created events within our VIP group. We went live and talked about it. And we told people, like, this is just going to be a night out with the girls. Like, come have some dinner, have some drinks, sit and chit chat. And we kind of told them, like, we are going to share some Color Street with you, but we're not going to bog you down with like an hour-long event of us just talking about Color Street, right? Because these are our VIPs. They already know what Color Street is. They already love it. They already use it. So we created these little baggies that just got like a toozie, some scratch cards, their passport. But we just encourage them to come out and have a good time. And the one little twist that we did put on it, thankfully to Color Street, giving us early access to all these launches that we get, is we told them, if there's anything new coming, we'll have it with us so that we can show you, so that we can share those items with you. So at the first event we did, we had the jellies with us, and they were launching the very next day on the website. So it was really cool to pass those new sets around. They could look at them in their hands, and we could say, you can order these tomorrow. But yeah, that was just the idea behind it, is just getting people face to face, making it fun, making it eventful, and doing it together so that, you know, if it was a flop, then we weren't alone. But that was the general idea about it. So I don't know if you want to share anything else before we get into like how things went down, but
yeah, so something else that we did ahead of time is, obviously April showed you, like, we packaged up our passports in these little bags that we got on Amazon, added a sticker, a toozie, a scratch off, and then their passport. And then April made these on Canva. It says traveling with Danielle, grab a Bloom and Grace passport. And then April had one with her business. And then we had our passports all laid out. And then we had a door prize. Or was there 2 door prizes? Did we just do one?
we did 2 because we wanted one for my VIP.
Oh, yes. So then we had little door prizes, and April went and got those at the Dollar Tree. I don't think you spent that much money, because a lot of the stuff you just had at home and you just threw random stuff in there.
Yeah.
And then we had these little things sitting up, which she got this stuff from the dollar store too. And these were prizes if you booked your own party.
Which we never talked about, by the way. We that was like the beauty of it. Like we just did it. We did it messy. We had those boxes sitting there with good intentions, but we were having so much fun that we just forgot about it. So we're like, oh, well, we'll just save it for the next one.
Yeah, and we also forgot to take a group picture. Like, we left and she texted me, girl, did you get a picture? I'm like, no, girl, did you get a picture? Like, both of us, when we were there, I think that it was kind of like a smack in the face to both of us when we left, because the whole time we were there, which the event was only scheduled for an hour, we ended up going for 2 hours, you guys. And literally, like, we were all yawning and falling asleep. Like, we've got to get out of here. We just kept talking. But like, when we left, I told April, I was like, I literally had my phone over on that other table the whole time. And she was like, oh my gosh, I didn't have my phone either. Like, both of us just completely detached from our phones. And we were present in the moment, and we were having conversations, and we were laughing, and we were talking. And we're going to get ready to get into kind of like the flow of how we sprinkled Color Street in there. But we both left there and we were like, this is amazing. And actually, April has an in-home party Saturday that she got, you know, from that event. And then you have another one, right? Did somebody else book one with you?
Yeah. Yep. For next month.
And I have been listening to so many podcasts lately, you guys, because like, I'm just trying to really focus on my mindset and, you know, controlling what I can control. And I have listened to so many podcasts, but 3 recently 3 podcasts mentioned the statistics of online events versus in-person events. And one thing that I heard just yesterday, it's fresh in my mind, is that the reason the sales are so much higher at in-person events is because of like that validation for shopping. So she gave an example on the podcast of, I forget what it was, but I'm gonna flip this over to Color Street. So, somebody's looking at a bottle of nail polish remover and they're like, I just can't really justify paying that price for that. And so they walk over to the nails because they're like, I can justify, $13 versus $16. So, but then, Sally walks up and she buys that nail polish remover. And the girl that's sitting there looking at the nails, she's like, oh my God, she just bought it. So I need to buy it. And it's kind of like just that validation of, oh my gosh, April just went and got a buy 3, get 1 pack out of the stash. I'm going to do the same. Like, it's just, kind of like the vibe in the room, and people just, they purchase more at in-person events.
Yeah. Well, and I have to say this now so that I don't forget, but we're going to talk about kind of how the flow of it went. But just what Danielle was talking about, it was like, we had catalogs laying out. So like when it first started, everybody's kind of looking through their bag, looking at the catalogs, waiting to order drinks, whatever. But in the middle, like when we were talking about stuff, and I don't want to jump to anything, but at one point we were talking about the nail polish remover, and this lady that uses it all the time was like talking, it was Danielle's VIP talking to mine, and she was like, have you ever used the remover? And she's like, no, I wanted to, but I just, didn't want to spend the money on it. And she was like, why not? Like shocked that she had never used it. And she was like, girl, you need to order some of you. Like that stuff is amazing. It's so good. It takes it off so fast. It doesn't get sticky. So Danielle's VIP is teaching my VIP how amazing this stuff is. And she ordered a bottle of remover and a buy 3, get 1 that night before she left. So
yeah,
that's the power of like an in-person event. Right.
Yeah, okay, the conversations at these in-person events are just insane. Like people start talking that didn't even come together, and like they're sitting there talking and having conversations and just having a really good time. So I guess I will kind of start getting into how we prepared for it. So we had 2 different baskets like this. So I had these sitting around the house, so I just emptied them out and we used them. And one basket was full of nail care items. And we had like some of these little cotton things in there. That way, if people wanted to try the polish remover, it was all nail care in one. And then obviously we brought the subscription box and we passed that around so that everybody could see what comes in the subscription box. And then we had another basket like this that had the lippies in it. And then I had just ordered these online. That way, if they wanted to try the lip products. What did I miss?
It was in a red cosmetic bag. We passed that around and told them that that was like the Hostess exclusive for that month too. So it was kind of like a double.
Oh, so it was this?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. All right. So that's how we kind of did that. And we just, like April said earlier, we passed around the jellies, and then we said, okay, we're going to play a couple games and we're going to start, passing some stuff around. And we explained what was in each basket and that they were welcome to try all the products. And then we played, was it 2 games or 3?
We played 2.
Yeah. And it was so much fun. April, go ahead and tell them about the games. So as these games are happening, the baskets are being, passed around and people are trying things and checking things out and looking at the subscription box.
Yeah. Well, and I want to say one thing about that too. We didn't stand up there and say like, this is the remover, these are the ingredients, whatever. We literally just picked up the basket and we were like, this is the hand and nail care items. If you've never tried them and you want to, you can take a look, pass them around. Same thing with the lips. Like, this is our lip line. There's testers in here. So we weren't preaching Color Street to them. We really wanted them to feel like we were just girls hanging out and we were trying different stuff. So it wasn't a lot of Color Street vomit coming out of our mouths. It was just like, here's our stuff. Look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as they were passing that stuff around, Danielle did the purse game, which was funny because there were like two ladies who were like, oh my God, I wish I would have brought my purse because all I have is, like I had one lady like pulling stuff out of her pants pockets and her coat pockets, like, oh, I think I, and one lady was pulling out everything but the dang kitchen sink out of her purse.
Mhm.
And then the other game we played, which you can find them all over Pinterest or whatever, was like the pass the prize game. So it was like pass the prize to, it started with the first person to arrive. We gave it to them. And Jalen was with Danielle. So she was like taking the bag and passing it to the ladies. But it was like, you can't keep it, pass it to someone that's got blue eyes. You can't keep it, pass it to someone that, is been married the longest, so we just, and I had a pretty long list and I kind of shortened it up just because it was creating so much conversation. You wouldn't think like a game like that. When I said like someone that's been married the longest, one lady was like, how about most recently divorced or something like that. Like we were just laughing and having a good time and getting to know like little things about each other, and everybody was.
The one about the grandkids was a hot one too. Like pass it to the person with the most grandkids. And that started so much conversation. Like it was good.
Yeah. So it was just fun. It was lighthearted. We didn't drag the games on either. Like we just did that. And then once that was all done, about that time, like everybody had ordered food, the food was coming in, and we all just sat and chatted. And like, I think I had 1, 2, 3, 4 of my VIPs come, but 3 of the 4 brought a friend with them. So they were chatting amongst each other. Like we really encouraged it. Bring a friend with you. If you don't want to come by yourself, bring a friend. That way you're not that like awkward person in a room full of people that you don't know. Like you have someone there that you can chat with. But within 20 minutes, everybody at the table was talking to each other. Like it was so good. And
What we have? 12 people total? I think
so. Yeah.
And honestly, that was like, to me, a perfect crowd. Like, I feel like, if you have a lot more than that, that's a lot of people. I'm not saying it can't be done. And I'm sure as we continue to do these, which we are scheduling these monthly, like every month we're doing one. But with consistency, that will probably grow. But at least with the first one, we had a smaller crowd so that we could work the kinks out. And we told them, like, this is the first time, you guys. So you guys are the guinea pigs, like, let's do this. And we had little prizes. What did we do for the prizes for the games? I forget. Was it like one of these little bags here?
Oh yeah, it was this, and it had like some choosies and a chapstick and nail clips and
So just some little things.
like random stuff that we had laying around that we just threw into a bag. They were excited about it. And like, I don't think one person left that didn't say, oh my gosh, I can't wait until you do this again. This was so much fun. Like, see you next month. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like we've got those people that are coming back, and they'll more than likely, they might even bring more friends. And then the people that are in our VIP groups that missed it and saw the hype of the event and everything, and they're like, oh, I can't wait to make it to the next one. So I mean, we don't know where this is going or what's going to come of it, but what we're doing is we're thinking outside the box, and we're not allowing Facebook to define the level of success that we want in our business. And we have 100% control over what we do. And, this could be what both of us have been missing in our business. And it's so much funner because we get to do it together. You guys could totally do this on your own. But I encourage you, maybe for your first one, to bring somebody with you, even if it's not a sideline stylist that lives close to you. Maybe it's just your best friend, or maybe it's your mom or your aunt or somebody. Bring someone with you just so that you're not like there by yourself.
Right. But yeah, don't be afraid to try it, and don't be afraid to like have no one show up. Cause like we kept saying that, we're like, what if no one shows up? I'm like, okay, well then we've got a night out of the house. We're going to have dinner and we're going to try again, because this is brand new and it may take time for people to get, to like catch on with it. But
yeah,
the first step was just doing it. And you could do it at your home if you want to do something like that. We did it at a local restaurant here called TJ Chumps, and they have like 2 party rooms that are free to book. Like you just tell them, hey, we're coming with, 15 to 20 people, and they block it off for you. Pizza places have party rooms like that. Mexican restaurants usually have big areas that, they can fit parties in. A coffee shop is a good place to do it.
Yeah.
Breweries, if that's your thing. Like we did, what are they called? Like info cards. We had those laid out on the table when everyone got there. So like to collect their name, their phone number, the typical, like, do you want to host your own event? And then we put a spot on there that was like, suggest where we go next. And I had 4 of my girls that came suggest this brewery that's here in Heber Heights because it's like a super chill, like comfy place to go. So it was kind of fun because we get to let them have some input on, where they think we could do it. But, and another thing is like, I've been thinking about so many different things since then. Like I have an in-person event on Saturday. I'm going to take these with me to the party. Even if, none of those people were there, I'm going to give everyone one of these and I'm going to tell them like, I host these events every single month. If you, come to the events, bring this with you, get your stamps, and you get a prize at the end of your journey. And hopefully I'm, likable enough at the party that they're like, oh, I want to hang out with that chick again. And, they come to the next location. But it's also a good way to get people that may be hesitant to do an in-home party. You can tell them like, hey, why don't you come to one of my locations for the passport, bring 4 or 5 of your friends. I will set up a shopping link just for you for that night. They can all order from your shopping link and you guys can just join us. You know what I mean? So there's really lots of different things that you can do with this. You can play on it to make it your own. But my biggest, I guess, piece of advice would be to just have fun with it and like, don't overthink it. Just go with what you know. Don't overthink it. I mean, I think the only thing I talked about as far as sales and orders go, is I did tell my VIPs, I said, you will always have an ordering special at these events that you attend. So you can buy any set from my basket for this price. And if you place an online order before you leave here tonight, you can pick a free set for my basket. And I ended up getting 3 online orders that night, one of which included nail polish remover and one of which included a lipstick. So, and I didn't make a spiel about it. It was at the very end, once we were getting ready, and I was like, hey, just to let you know, no pressure, but if you do this, this is what you get. And then we just sat there and chatted. And Danielle, you can tell them what you got out of
yeah, we got a new stylist on Team No Excuses from the event as well. So Robin, she ended up signing up. We chatted and she was like, I'm gonna do it. So I was super excited. She had been a VIP of mine for a very long time. Amazing lady. I mean, she could be watching this training right now, I don't know, but I was just so excited, that she finally decided to take that leap. And, I don't know if she would have signed up, had we not had that in-person connection and interaction. So I have notes here that I wrote down. If you guys saw me looking down, I was writing down notes as she was talking, because her and I both get ideas as the other one's talking and we forget our ideas. So she mentioned a little bit about the stash. So like, that's something else you can do, is bring some of your stash with you. And if you want to offer like a deal, like tonight, all of my sets are X amount. If you want to offer, like if you place an order online, you get to pick a set. Well, you do what fits your budget and have fun with it. But obviously you want to bring like your lippies with you, any nail care items you have. And a good idea that April had was like 2 weeks prior to these events or 10 days prior to these events, we reach out and offer a bulk order to our VIPs. And we say, look, I'm going to order, you can get nail care, you can get lippies. And then when you come to the event, you can pick those items up so you can save on shipping. So that's a great idea too. You could do like a stop and shop, and you could let all of your local people know, like, hey, I'm going to be at Starbucks at 10 a.m. Saturday morning. Come grab a coffee with me, stop in and shop. I'll have lippies for you to try, the nail care item, soon to be, cheeks. I mean, we're like, in person is where it's at, you guys. Something else that I was going to mention is, if you don't have a sideline stylist that's close by that you can do this with, Another really good idea that you could do is you could get a hold of one of your friends who is in network marketing, and you could say, hey, would you want to go in with me and do this event on this day at this place? And I'm just going to say Cincy for an example, is I could get a hold of my Cincy rep and say, hey, Monday at 6:30, I'm going to be at, wherever. Would you be interested in coming and bringing some of your inventory and products with you and having a girls' night out with me? Invite your people, I'll invite my people, and you go in with it that way, because you're going to meet and network with everybody that's there and meet all the people that your friend brings. And it's, supporting each other in this type of business too. So you could always do something like that as well. You really have to think outside the box. And something that I've thought about, just me personally, is like dance. My daughter's in dance. So I could do one evening, I could tell all the dance moms, hey, you guys, I'm going to bring my nail care in. I'm going to bring my lippies in. I'm going to bring in our new cheek products, and all of us moms get together and I bring my nails with me. And, like, you have to be creative and think outside the box. My son's playing baseball, so I could do a little pop-up event at the baseball field. It's just, you got to think outside the box and realize, like, when you show up and you have like a basket full of nail polish that people can see, touch, get right then, you're going to sell nail polish. You're going to get new customers. You're going to get people wondering, like, what's going on over there? What are all them women doing together? They're like trying on makeup and laughing and having a good time. Like, people are going to be attracted to that. So take our idea and just run with it. Like, think outside the box, because I read this quote a couple days ago, and it said, it's time for you to think outside the box. If not, that box is going to be your coffin. And I'm not saying I'm going to die, you guys, but I thought about that with my business. And I'm like, that is so freaking true. Like, if I don't start thinking outside the box, my business is going to die. And that's so true. We have to think outside the box. We have to pivot. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So if you are at that point in your business where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing the same freaking jazz and I'm not getting anywhere. Okay, change it up. Change things up and try a different avenue, because obviously what you're doing is not working right now. That doesn't mean that it's not going to work later. But try something new, and you never know what's going to happen with that. You may never do a Facebook party again in your life if you do an in-home party, because you might see the power of that. And you might see that, hey, I do this once a week. I show up for an hour and a half. I hang out with women. I leave with a $300+ party. I sold X amount of stash sets. I got this many parties booked. I got a new stylist, whatever it is. Like, there is so much power in these in-person events, you guys.
Yeah. Okay, I was thinking of like 3 different things that I've been over here repeating to myself, like, don't forget for when it's your turn. But 2 things that I for sure want to talk about is, one is, don't be afraid to ask your VIPs when you're there in the moment for ideas, because when we were there, I think it was, who was it that said about the leftover
That
nail
was
shop?
Robin, the leftover swap.
Yeah, so she was like, the next time you guys do this, you should tell everyone to bring their leftovers, and like everybody can swap, like, for a set that they don't have, or do a mix, like do mixed meanies right there that night. Like, don't be afraid to ask the people there, like, what do you think we should do next time? What do you think would be like a fun time? And the other thing is, like, if you're a newer stylist, or you don't have a lot of inventory, you don't have the cheeks, or you don't have the lips, or whatever, don't think that you can't do this. You could literally set this up with a catalog. Show up with a catalog, talk about the product, talk about what's new, make it exclusive. Like, next Monday is our next event. What's coming Tuesday? The cheeks. What do we have? The cheeks. So next Monday, we're going to take the cheek product and pass it around. But you could do the same thing there. You could tell them, like, I'm going to share some like top secret information with you at this event, like, and let them know before you tell your entire VIP group, like, this collection's launching, or this new product's launching, or whatever, and talk about that with them. I mean, you have your phone, you can show them graphics, images, whatever you have, but don't feel like you have to print out passports. You can literally just make an event. It doesn't have to be this serious. You don't have to do big present giveaways. Like, take something small that you have. Like, I'm sure that we all have something that's like sitting around somewhere unopened, like a face mask or whatever, and just do one drawing for a little face mask. Like, thank you guys all for coming tonight. Here's a face mask and some choosies. Here's the winner. You know what I mean? Like, don't feel pressured to have all of the items in the catalog to do one of these events. You could have the catalog itself, but it's all about building those connections and relationships with people and just having a good time. Like, I I think about this every time I ask someone to do an in-home party and they're just like immediately no. And that's just the times that we have like gone through where people are just so used to being by themselves. They don't want people in, they don't want to go out. But like, I remember going to like Cincy parties and I was like so excited. Like, I just wanted to go eat the little snacks and hang out with people and like play the games. Of course, I always ended up buying something because I felt like a ding dong if I didn't support my friend. But like, once people get a taste of that interaction that they haven't had in a long time, like I said, everybody that left was like, this was so much fun. I can't wait until next month. So just try it out. I mean, the worst that happens is you get a little evening out by yourself, but I can almost guarantee you're not going to be by yourself.
The other thing is, if you're really nervous about it, do an open house and just tell people, hey, I'm going to have an open house from 2 to 4 on Saturday. I'm going to have products for you to try. I've got some, new nail sets that I was able to get in the stylist pre-sale, whatever it is, you guys, just like April said, like, you don't have to do everything like we did. And you can even do, like, if you want to do the passport idea, but you don't want to print them, go on Canva and make one for free and have it digitally on your phone and be like, oh, there's Danielle. You showed up. You're getting your stamp. I mean, whatever it is that you guys want to do, you have to make it you and have fun with it. But having products to show is definitely a plus. So, even if it's like your own lippies that you have, or maybe just the tinted lip balm, because you guys, that is amazing. Bring your tinted lip balm and say, here, you guys, get a tester and try some, or wipe it on your finger and then try it. I mean, I don't know, but having stuff for them to try is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, it was a lot of fun. I mean, like I said, our next event's Monday and I'm already hyping it up in there. Like, I'm trying to make it exciting. I think I have like 10 people so far that said they're coming. Of course, 2 of those people are me and Danielle. But I bought like a roll of raffle tickets at Walmart today because I could not find raffle tickets before the last event. So I literally bought a deck of cards and cut the cards in half. Be resourceful, guys, because I literally cut the cards in half and I was like, here's your jack of spades. If I pull it out, you're the winner. Like, because I couldn't find them. But just come up with your own ideas and have fun with it and be excited about it. That's the biggest thing, is you have to be excited about it. If you're just like, there's this thing that I'm doing, and then you don't talk about it anymore, probably no one's going to show up. And I'm not telling you have to go live, but if you're comfortable with that, or maybe even if you're not, get out of your comfort zone, but talk about it. People may not understand what it is. Like, I actually had one person respond that doesn't even live anywhere remotely close enough to come up. So they probably assumed that it was an online thing. Yeah. But talk about it, post pictures in there the week of, or the weekend before the event. Like, this is what I'm going to have there. This is what we're going to talk about. I can't wait to see you guys. We're going to play some, like, just have fun with it. Whatever you're excited about when you're planning this and you're coming up with these ideas, share that with your VIPs, because that excitement and that passion and that fun that you're feeling in that moment is what's going to get them excited and make them want to come, because they're going to be like, dang, April was really pumped about this. What is she about to do? Like, I'm about to have to show up and see if she's going to dance on some tables, because she's over here getting down with it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to really be excited about it. And take a friend, and worst case scenario, you sit there and have a drink and dinner and you try again, or you try something different. But I think that people are ready to get out. People are ready to see people face to face. The weather's starting to change, so people are really like looking for any excuse not to be stuck in the house anymore. So I'm super pumped about it. Like, I think that this is something that I don't think we need the 3-month tester. I think that we're going to have to do at least 6 so that people can get their 6 stamps, because I mean, we both have people with passports in hand that are like, where are we going next? So
Yeah. And you guys have to remember that comfort is the enemy of progress. Like staying in our comfort zone, we are never going to grow. We are never going to progress. We're never going to reach whatever it is that you want out of your business if you stay in your comfort zone. And I can honestly say that if I was to have had this idea on my own and tried to execute this on my own, I would have stayed in my comfort zone and I wouldn't have done it. I can just be flat out honest with you guys because I allow that like mean girl to get in my head. Like nobody's going to show up. You're not going to plan it well enough. You're not going to have enough fun with your people. Like I let all that stuff get into my head and I never would have pursued it. But like, because April and I made this commitment to do this together, I knew like she was all in and I was all in. So it was like, it had to be done. So really you need to get somebody that's going to push you. If that's your best friend, then do your best friend. If that's, you know, that cousin that's like a sister, get that cousin. Or like I said, go and support other people that are in business. Like that's why women in business groups are so huge, because women want to support women. And, you know, if you're a man, that's okay too. But there's just something about that, like camaraderie of supporting other people that are in the type of business model we're in. So call up that person or message that person, whatever. Everybody's not old school like me, picking up the phone, calling, but you know, message them or call them and say, hey, would you be interested in doing this with me? I guarantee you, if you reached out to another direct sales sideline consultant, they would jump at the fact to do an in-person event with you. I can promise you that. Like, I don't see anybody turning it down, because that is what the world is moving to. Like, we have all gotten so used to being on live videos and doing Zoom parties and, you know, doing all the things that people want that in-person connection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I looked really quick to see if there was any okay. I love, Melissa said traveling road shows. I love that name.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's any questions, you guys can comment those below. Her and I will go back and answer any and all questions that come from the replay of this. But just, you have to try it. And if there's questions, ask, because we would love to give you our feedback. We're not pros by any means, you guys. We did this one time.
Yeah. We forgot like 3 things while we were there, but it was fine because we had fun. So whatever.
This just goes to show you like the power of one. Like I've been talking about that a lot lately, the power of one, and just making a plan and executing it. Let me tell you guys one more thing, because literally the day that we had this event, I thought about canceling it because, you guys, there were tornadoes that touched down all around us. You guys, we had tornadoes, seriously. And I even called April. I was like, girl, I don't know about this. Are people going to show up? We just had tornadoes touch down. And April's like, we are doing this. Unless my car blows away, we are doing this. And I'm like,
that's exactly what I said. I said, unless TJ blows down in these tornadoes, we're going to be there.
We did. We showed up and we are so thankful that we did. But that just goes to show you guys, like, comfort is the enemy of progress. So when there is progress happening and that inner mean girl sees like, oh, these girls are about to do the darn thing, they will drop tornadoes on you. Like they will drop bombs on you, literally.
Literal tornadoes.
Yes.
Go back out because you might get blown away by a tornado.
Yeah. So, all right, well, we will wrap this up, you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope that you took something from this. I would love for you to give us your feedback. Put that in the comments, please. Even if you're on the replay, let us know, what did you take from this? And if you have any questions, let us know. So that being said, go book an in-person event, you guys.
Yes.
Bye.